Morro Bay, California. Are you looking to relocate to the area, or perhaps looking to move to Morro Bay and you just want to get more familiar with the neighborhoods in the area? Well, in this video, I'm going to do a high-level version of about 10 or 11 is what I've sectioned it off to, neighborhoods within Morro Bay and kind of the surrounding area. After this video, I'm going to do another one, and it might be multiple of the different neighborhoods, and I'm going to dive in a little bit deeper. I'm going to go around with my camera and film each one so you can get that look and feel of each neighborhood, because there are 10 or 11, and some of them can be quite different from each other, so it's nice to see for yourself. So look out for that. If you're subscribed, you'll get that update in this Morro Bay series that I've been working on. So let's get started. By the way, my name's Denise Dresbach, and I am a licensed real estate agent here in Morro Bay, California. Thanks for stopping by. Morro Bay, California. Here we are on the map, and as you can see, Morro Bay is between Cayucos and Los Osos. We are located about 20 to 30 minutes from San Luis Obispo and about 25 or so minutes to Cambria. We also are about a half hour to places like Pismo Beach, Arroyo Grande, and all those, Avila Beach down south. So Morro Bay is a nice center location if you want to live somewhere and be able to get to all the lovely things that there are on the central coast of California. When you live in Morro Bay, you're thinking about things like what stores do I have, what hospitals are there, what doctors, and that kind of thing. And I will say that if you're looking for something where you're very close to a hospital, the closest hospital is probably going to be in San Luis Obispo, and that's about 20 to 30 minutes. There are two ways to get to San Luis Obispo from Morro Bay. Well, let me back up. There are more than two ways to get there. However, the two common ways that I usually use are either Highway 1 or Los Osos Valley Road. So if you take the scenic route, which is Los Osos Valley Road, that's going to take you probably under a half hour. I'd say 25 minutes maybe, depending on what part of San Luis Obispo you're going to. And then on Highway 1, you're cutting it down closer to 20 minutes. And Highway 1 in our area rarely has any traffic, which is pretty nice. And I know someday that probably won't be true, but for now it's very lovely. And I come from an area where there was traffic all the time, and we were located in the Santa Cruz County, and Highway 1 is there too, and it's a very different Highway 1 compared to here. Anyway, if you want to get to San Luis Obispo from Morro Bay, it's a quick 20 minutes. It's a very easy drive in my opinion. We do take the scenic route quite often. For example, if we're going to go to Costco or do some hiking or something like that, a lot of the times we aren't in a rush, and we'll take Los Osos Valley Road. It's scenic, meaning there's lots of farmland and pretty hills and mountains and things like this. So that is it for the location of San Luis Obispo and Morro Bay. So let's focus on Morro Bay. So we're going to start out with the state park here. So this is a very big landmark that we can kind of keep an eye on to know where we're at. Of course, the bay is another one. So in the Morro Bay State Park here, this is a golf course. So there's a restaurant there, and there's some pathways that go up to Black Hill, and there's a trail there, and there's also a parking lot up at Black Hill. So if you want to see some views and you don't want to hike, you can always just drive up there, park in the little parking lot. It's got like spots for like 3 cars, and you can see pretty nice views from just the parking lot. Now, if you want to climb up a little higher, of course, you can park your car and climb up the hill. I don't know, it probably takes about maybe 15 minutes or so. It's a pretty steep hike, but it's doable. It's like walkable. I don't usually like to do anything too, heavy on my hiking or my walking. So it's something that I enjoy, but you definitely get up to the top of the world views if you take this hike. The nice thing about this neighborhood right here, which is called Morro Bay Heights, is that you can get to this trail pretty quickly from most spots of the neighborhood. For example, Ridgeway has an opening right here that gets you onto the trail, and you can walk up and get to the street that takes you to Black Hill Trail pretty quickly. So that's a really nice thing to have right in your backyard, so to say. The other thing, of course, is this golf course. So the golf course, if you don't golf, and I don't golf personally, so I live in Morro Heights neighborhood, so I know it very well. And you can walk through the golf course, and there are, like I said, a restaurant, and then there's also these pathways. So if you want to take a nice walk, after dinner or in the morning, whatever it is, you can pop right onto these trails and get around pretty easily. Another nice thing about Morro Heights is that the higher you go up is the higher you're going up on the hill. And so you're going to probably have some greater views from these locations, depending on, which way you're facing and all that kind of thing. It's a really nice neighborhood to live in. There's not a lot going on. And, for example, on our street, we have a lot of people who are second home owners. So half the street is pretty quiet, half the time, and depending on who's coming and going. So it's one of those streets that, you live on and somebody drives by. I'm on a dead end street as well. And somebody drives by and you're like, oh, who's out there? So it's very quiet most of the time. And you can see great views. And if your home doesn't have decent views because of your, height or location or something like this, you can easily get over to the golf course or at Black Hill, or you can even walk down to the water. Now, one thing about walking down to the water from up here is you got to walk back up. And so getting down to the water, you can be there in under 10 minutes. However, when you go back, you do have to expect to climb. So it is a good workout to get back home. And we've walked all these streets many, many times, and it's a great place to be. So if you take a look down here, you'll see this peninsula, Marina Peninsula Trailhead. So this is another location that is a great place to walk to. So you could walk from the Morro Heights neighborhood to this Peninsula Trail. However, it's probably best just to drive. There's plenty of parking, or maybe you have an electric bike, or a lot of people have golf carts around here, and you can just pop right onto Main Street and park here and take a walk along the trail, which has a boardwalk. So part of it's dirt, part of it's boardwalk, and there's a lot of great views there. We do this walk quite a bit with the dogs. And in this location, there's just a couple of things. There's a kayak shack that's to rent kayaks, and then there's a bunch of sailboats that are parked here, and then Bayside Cafe. Bayside Cafe is one of the best restaurants in the area. And you'll also see that there's a campground here. So Morro Bay State Park Campground is right here, which if you get to stay there, you can pop over and have food at Bayside. Maybe you're tired of barbecuing, or you can, get over to the trail and take a walk, see the views. On this walk, you can see all across towards Los Osos. You can see the rock and all that good stuff. So it's really nice to live in this neighborhood and be close to all of these different outdoor activities. So if we look behind Black Hill, let me zoom in here. Back behind Black Hill, there is this neighborhood here that I think is about 16 homes. I've talked about them on my previous updates, where there's been a couple that have been listed for sale recently. And it's a quiet little community back here. Like I said, they're new homes, and there's access to trails from this location as well. And then you have pretty quick access to Highway 1 and then Quintana Road. So Quintana Road will take you back towards kind of the middle of Morro Bay. So a nice little private location where you can have quiet living and then quick access to all the things Morro Bay has to offer. Morro Bay is not that big of a place, so easily done, right? Also back here, there are a couple of mobile home or trailer parks. There's the mobile home park back here, there's a trailer park, and then there's this also mobile home park up here. And this place actually, Blue Heron, that has some pretty nice views of the hills and stuff like that. So these are great little spots if you want to be tucked away back here behind Black Hill. So now we have another neighborhood here in the Morro Heights area, which is closer to the water, and it's called Cerrito Place. And the nice thing about this neighborhood, well, you can see it's quite small, but it is on top of this peak here, which is called Eagle Rock. I think it has another name maybe it's Cerrito Peak, something like that. But it's really cool. This street, you don't see things come up very often here because it is, just a few homes. But the location is really nice because some of these homes have a great view, and it's also kind of nice to be up on that peak. And if you did buy a home or lived in one of these homes in this neighborhood and you don't have a view, the nice thing is you can climb up Eagle Rock and get some pretty fantastic views from the top there. And it probably takes about 5 minutes to get to the top, maybe a little bit longer. It's pretty short. And the thing about it is that it is rocky and steep, so you got to have the right shoes. I've gone up in flip-flops before, but I wouldn't advise that. So great views, and so if you live here, how nice would that be? You can just pop right up and take a look at what's going out on the water, towards the rock, sunsets, all that kind of stuff. So great little neighborhood, and you can just roll right down this hill, Olive Street here, down towards the water and Embarcadero and all those fun things really close by. The one thing I will say about Olive Street is when you're coming back up, it is a steep one. So if you want to work out, that's a great one to climb. So let's back up here and back towards the golf course again. We have this little spot here, and these homes here, they're Bayshore Village. And these homes here, they're mostly condos, I believe, and some of them have water views. There is a park right here, so there's no homes to block your view from these front homes here and these front homes here. And the park is generally pretty quiet. We go there from time to time. It's a small park. It's got great views again. So how nice to live in this little neighborhood. And you can just pop right out and go check out the bay and ocean views, rock views, all that good stuff. It's a nice little neighborhood there. And it's next to the inn at Morro Bay, which is right here. And there, I will say one thing, there are a lot of birds in this area. So you know it comes with birds, right? But really great place. I think, I've looked at these before thinking, I think I could live there. They have garages and that kind of stuff. So nice spot. Okay, so we're going to zoom out and move towards Embarcadero and downtown. So Main Street runs along this way, and then you have Morro Bay Boulevard. And Morro Bay Boulevard and Main Street in this section here is where you're going to find downtown Morro Bay. So we have a movie theater, Bay Theater, and tons of shops and restaurants and all kinds of fun things to check out. You can do tons of window shopping and that kind of thing. And there's been quite a bit of new restaurants that have been popping up that I've been hearing really great things about. So looking forward to checking those out. And I think when I first was here in Morro Bay, you instantly know about Embarcadero. For some reason, I don't know why it was at that time. I don't know if that's the same for other people. But it was like, okay, we're going to go to Morro Bay from Cayucos while we're on vacation. We're just going to go for the afternoon. We're going to go to Embarcadero. So we go to Embarcadero. Didn't even know the downtown existed until closer to when I was looking to live here. So downtown is a great place. They have art in the park over here 3 or 4 times a year. And this will lead you right down into Embarcadero, which is also tons of shopping, restaurants, and this is where you're going to get your waterfront restaurants, lots of yummy food, lots of seafood and all kinds of stuff, candy and ice cream and all those wonderful things that you can get by the bay. So you've got Embarcadero here, you've got the downtown area here close by, and you can see that some of these homes in this area are going to be very close to that. So if you're looking to be next to the action, you'd probably want to focus in on these in this area in particular. You do have Albertsons, so we do have 2 grocery stores in Morro Bay, and Albertsons is the one closest here, and then we have Spencer's, which is in North Morro Bay, and we'll get to that in a little bit. So if you move forward this way a little bit, you can see that we have Morro Rock. And in this location, again, more restaurants. It's a lovely place to walk along, even if you're not eating or shopping. It's really fun to walk along the Embarcadero, especially in this area when you get down to Coleman Park. There's a boardwalk type deal that walks from here all the way to the rock. You can see the sea otters, you can see the beach, and there's a lot of nature and wildlife to see. Don't feed the squirrels. Or the birds for that matter. Just let them be, I think, is the strong feeling around. So the rock is here. So if you want to be close to the rock and the beach and you want to live in this area, this is another location that would be a nice one for you. There are a couple of motels and stuff in this area, but mostly these are neighborhoods with homes. And you know, you can kind of keep an eye on this area if you want to be close to all of this action. But you know, Morro Bay is a pretty small area, so you know, even if you live in Morro Heights, you can get to this area pretty quick. And having a golf cart or having an electric bike or just a bicycle, if you like pumping up those hills, is a great way to see Morro Bay. So this neighborhood here, I believe, is called the Harbor Tract. And this one is another one where you go up higher, you're going up the hill. And so anything at the very top is going to have the highest, best views probably. And anything down here is just going to be more walkable to getting to, you know, downtown and the beach and the rock and all that kind of stuff. There is a lot of nice homes in this neighborhood. As far as I can tell, it seems very quiet and easygoing and a good location to be close to all Morro Bay has to offer there. And if you look closely here, you can see there's an Ace right here. And this Ace hardware is one of the best Ace hardwares I've ever been to. It's really nice. They have a great gardening section. So the closer you are to that, if you like gardening or if you just need regular stuff from Ace Hardware, it's nice to be close, right? So that is something to pay attention to as well. And you can walk along this main street to get over here, but you know, driving's always an option. So now we're going closer towards North Morro Bay, but what I'm going to focus on next is Cloisters. So Cloisters is a newer subdivision, and what I mean by newer is they were built in the 90s or so, somewhere around there. So Cloisters is kind of your higher end area. When you have a house here, you can expect to have rock views probably, or at least from your neighborhood. You can get quick access to the beach, and it has a lovely park and nature preserve. It's got walkways all along here that are really quite nice. You can walk your dog on these paths, and there's a playground. It has things like picnic tables, barbecues, a big grass area, but it also has those paths that take you through, and there's, you know, always lots of birds and lovely plants to look at. And some of these homes are along the paths, some of them are not. So it's a great place to check out if you want to be close to the beach. You can also walk across the street over here to get to North Morro Bay, where you're going to find Spencer's, which is our other grocery store. It's right behind Taco Temple here. And at Spencer's, you can find all the things you need for any sort of grocery item, but they also have a weekly farmer's market. And so that's fun to check out as well. And how nice to live right by the beach and have quick access to things like this. Okay, so now if we move past Cloisters, you're going to see the beach track. And that's on the left-hand side here next to the beach. And if I zoom out a little bit, you're going to see there's the Morro Strand State Beach Campground. And I think one of the nice things about maybe owning a home here is if you have friends or family that want to visit, you don't want them in your house, you know, in the camp, just send them over there and that'd be fun. You can go check out their campsite, and then when you're done with them, you can go back home. But it's also a nice place to camp as well. However, one thing to note about part of this area is this beach does not allow dogs. You can bring your dog to this part of the beach. So if you go to Morro Rock Beach and you come into this area, most of this area you can have your dogs. And there is a clear sign somewhere as you get closer to Cloisters that says no dogs on this beach. So we have seen people who are feel very strongly about it. We haven't crossed over the line, but as we're walking towards it to turn around, we've been, hey, no dogs, no dogs. Like, okay, yeah, we got it. So you have to be careful with that if you like to follow rules. So beach track is here, and yes, as I said, you're next to the beach. So great place if you want to just fall right onto the beach and walk over here. And if you do want to live here and you have a dog, there are areas that you can walk to get you to those beaches, you know, like the Morro Rock Beach, or over here as you get closer to this way, this is a big dog beach up here. So that is good to know in the beach track area. And then, of course, we have North Morro Bay. So let's zoom out again and kind of move this over. And so this area here is considered North Morro Bay, and you have multiple neighborhoods in here that look a little different. So you can see there's Del Mar Park, which is very popular. There's a playground, there's a dog park, there's pickleball, there's lots of stuff to do, basketball courts, all that kind of stuff. And so that's right in between these two areas here. And when you, again, this is the same situation as you go up these streets, the higher you're going up, so the better the view, right? And up here in particular, where you see Laurel Avenue, Nutmeg, all these kinds of things, you're getting way up there. So those homes have some pretty top of the world views, is what I like to call it, where you walk into the house and you look out and you're like, oh, top of the world, you know, I feel like I can see everything. So that location, and then even over here, as you go towards these streets, the island streets, you see like there's this area, you know, you're climbing up as you go up here. So this is a great location here if you want to, again, be close to the beach and possibly have some really nice views as well. And you're pretty close to Cayucos. So if you're here, you can cross the street, Highway 1, there's a light here, and you can get down into this beach. But there's also a trail that can take you this way, Toro Lane. And I believe you can pop down there at some times. I'll have to look into that and kind of do a video on all the different ways to get to the beach and the trails and that kind of thing. But if you head this way, you're going to find that dog beach that I was talking about. And great place to take your dog and find sea glass. So if we pop back over here, I'm going to go up 41. So 41 is the road that takes you to Atascadero, and that's where Ace is. And on this street is another little neighborhood back here. This is a manufactured home park, and I've seen some really great listings in there. So another one to keep in mind and keep an eye on if you're looking for manufactured home and you want to be close to, you know, you're kind of tucked away back there, but you still, you know, you can get from this park to the beach probably within like 7 minutes of driving, maybe less. I don't know. It's pretty close. So that's a great little place to keep an eye on if you're looking for something like that. Okay, so that was the high-level version of Morro Bay neighborhoods, and if you are subscribed, you will see that there are other videos in the Morro Bay series, including a detailed neighborhood version of what I just talked about. So I'm going to have information for you and a video of each of the neighborhoods so you can kind of get a feel for what everything looks like. So watch out for that. Thanks for watching, and if you can, give me a comment, give me a like, and let me know that you're enjoying this information. And if there's anything else out there that you want me to cover, please do comment and let me know. Thanks so much. See you on the next one.